Same. Do we know if Dr. Tejan and Mrs. McNeil are going to be joining
Dr.
us?
Tejan will not be joining us.
Okay.
Mrs. McNeil, let me make sure I can let somebody in. I'm sure she will be with us shortly.
Okay.
But we should drive on because it is 5:02 according to my watch. I don't know who's the second. Is that me? Do we have a vice chair or another chair?
I'm trying to remember
okay,
the last election. Oh, you can do it if you want, or I can take over either way.
Yeah, go ahead, Aaron, because this is your. Well, we'll announce that in a minute.
Yes, this will be my last meeting, at least for some time. But that's because I'm moving to Norway for the year. But we'll get to that later. We have business to attend to. So I guess we can verify a quorum here by taking roll. Melissa.
Sure. Okay. Dr. Windsor.
Present.
Oh, Mrs. McNeil is not here. I am here. Mrs. Schmaltz. Mrs. Mendonça.
Here.
Ms. Garrison.
Here.
Dr. Hess.
Here.
Dr. Lechuga Peña.
Here.
And Zuri Baker. Ms. Baker.
I don't know if we could hear you.
You can't hear me?
Okay, now we can.
Oh.
It's probably just one of those
a little
fun
bit.
Zoom mic things. Excellent. So I believe that would qualify as quorum. So we can move on to our first substantive item, which is a discussion and vote on the previous minutes. If you can pull those up, if you don't have them, or Dr. Windsor, if you want to share screen.
I will. I just received an email from Mrs. McNeil, and she regretfully is not able to attend tonight. So we're good.
Okay.
All right, I will share my screen. Make sure I got that.
Are you looking for a motion now and then any discussion?
Yeah, I was leaving it to just have a glance at the minutes, and then if we have a move to approve, we can do that. If everyone has read them before, then we can go quickly through that, but just giving everyone just a second. But if you are ready to roll, Zuri, you go.
I can at least put it on the floor. I move that we adopt the meeting minutes from April 18th, 2022.
Okay, so moved. We have a second.
I'll second.
Okay, Stephanie, and I believe this can be a roll call vote. Actually, or a voice vote, sorry.
Mm-hmm. Okay. All those in favor, say aye.
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 All those opposed? Any abstentions?
That'd be me. I wasn't here.
Okay.
All right, with those votes, I believe we can move forward on to the next item, which is the Executive Director's report. Dr. Windsor.
Okay, I have one report. Let's see if I can do this. I promised I would show you the plans. I just want to make sure I have the right ones up. Which for some reason, okay, hold with me. Hold with me. Okay, I'm sorry, hold on. I in my haste, I did the wrong one. Okay, first of all, I'm going to show you, I'll share with you the landscape outside, and then hopefully if I can navigate well, we'll move inside to the addition of the baseline campus. Did anything happen?
Yep, can see very, very small.
Okay, very good. All right, so it's up. So T&I addition, it should say, there we go. So this is the outside, and I will try to zoom in a little bit better.
Mhm.
Okay, so-
Whoop,
is that better?
yes.
Okay, so this is the addition. So this is the outside view looking down. That's where all the grassy area is now. And there'll be two stories addition right there. Then on the north side of this is where the dumpsters used to be or are now, right about here. So all of this will be made into some naturescape out to the side, the existing sidewalk through there. Some seating benches underneath some mesquite or palo verde trees. We're also going to make a pathway through here that is going to be pavers. So it's easier for our students with disabling conditions, either walker or wheelchairs, to navigate through this area. These are some seating areas. They're like logs, but they're going to be in the ground, so we can't move them around. Some more seating area. This right here is a seating area that will have an oak tree planted in the middle, so it'll be kind of a central feature of the landscape, naturescape area. Back through here, there'll be some more seating, some more areas to be able to be under the trees and to study or whatever. We have some raised bed gardens we're just going to put in for back here. A half-court basketball that can handle a half-court plus volleyball in the back. Then all through here will just remain the retention basin and grass. Over here is where the existing preschool playground equipment has been, the climbing equipment. That's all going to be removed as part of our budget. And we're writing a grant, the Farm to School Implementation Grant, that will hopefully we'll get the grant and it'll pay for a state-of-the-art greenhouse. It's about 25 by 25 feet for the continuation of our environmental sciences. So that is the outside. I think this is just more trees. Okay, 1 second.
Is there a fence to the north of that new landscaping?
Yes, most definitely.
Okay.
Yeah, the fence actually, this is fenced off so that kids
Tell the
can't
fence.
come through here. Then the fencing is, it's an
I
existing
can't.
right through there.
No, I'm seeing notes.
You're seeing notes?
Mhm.
Oh, you're not seeing the drawing anymore?
I'm seeing
There
the
it
drawing.
is.
Well, that's
We
weird.
are.
There it is. Okay.
You see it now, Melissa?
I see the legend. Oh, weird. It's fine. Okay, I believe you. I was just wondering, I couldn't tell where the fence line was or if there was a fence.
Yeah, so it's all around it with the new gates moved. So then the next, let's see if I can not stop sharing. Well, I might have to stop sharing because I want to show you the inside. There we go. So there's actually some more changes to the inside, a little bit more changes. This is the lower floor, which I have 2 ELA humanities rooms here. This wall here, this wall is going to be pushed back a little bit, and this one pushed forward a little bit, just because it just didn't make sense. This was supposed to be a bunch of outside flex space, kind of like we had in the other, where the preschool was. That's going to be pushed out and evened out because the hallway is wide enough for kids to go out in the hallway to do the collaboration work. This is a health and wellness center. It has a roll-up door that's going to be pushed over here. Then the other door. Anyway, there's some redesign. It's just some nitpicky things. His exercise equipment is also going that the porch awning will expand this whole space. So some of his exercise equipment will be out on the porch because that's the north side. It won't receive any sun ever, and so it'll be safe out there. In the summertime, we'll have some swamp coolers. When the hotter time, we'll have some swamp coolers. This is the art lab over here. Humanities, a learning space over here. The restrooms, from the second floor, some stairs. This is a water rain cistern, but also the air conditioning condensate will all be piped to the water cistern. That's the downstairs. And then this is upstairs. Science labs up here. The existing building right now, is a kitchen, breakout of a kitchen-like area and a bunch of storage closets. That's all going to be stripped out and just made into one big music room. This right here is a partition wall that can go in and out, but we're going to take the partition wall out because it's not evenly spaced and just put in a hard wall there. The existing, where we used to have our conference meeting, our board meetings and stuff. Right now it's the music room, but that's going to change to a math room. This is a lot bigger for the music department, and that'll be perfect for a math room. This space right here is the existing technology, kind of a storage closet, but we have to have a breakout room, so that's going to be redesigned into a breakout room because we can get a faucet and a sink from the bathroom, restroom, and then that can have a little breakout room there. And that's what the front will look like. Except that this awning will now go clear from here all the way, span the whole area. That's the water cistern right there. That's the front. This is the back. And the facing west, I think. There's a water cistern. There's going to be a fence to make it so you can't just easily just go into the weight room and the workout area. And the elevation. Any questions on that? Yep. Any questions, comments, worries?
Makes a lot of sense.
Dr. Windsor, can you remind me of the timeline from start to finish?
Yeah, exactly right. So this we have as a timeline to start right away with this wall and this side, because we need that for August. So this, we don't really have to have permits or anything. We just have to give them the go and a deposit, whatever. So that'll start really fast. The rest of this the finish date is the middle of July 23. So the teachers are able to get in there. That's actually the end of June is what we're shooting for. So the teachers can get in, start setting up and everything that 1st of July 2023. There's going to be some discomfort because this wall won't have a fire escape, right? So these two classrooms, we're working with our architect and builder to be able to make it so we can use these rooms as classrooms. Otherwise, if there's not a fire escape or something, a certain level, and there's ways around that we're discovering that we might not be able to use these 2 rooms. That'll be terrible.
So there'll be construction all next school year.
Yeah, probably starting in October.
Okay. And how will will there be a lot of noise? Will it impact the flow of traffic? Have they,
The traffic, that's a good question. I asked about that, and they said that it really shouldn't impact the traffic too much because they can do their staging area over in that landscape area easily, and then the landscape area could be done last.
Okay.
But as far as the flow of class and the noise, I did ask about that. Yeah, there's gonna be a little bit of noise. Yeah.
thank you.
The room down at the bottom stairs, right here, this conference room, it could be also converted into a classroom easily if we need to. Yeah. We've gotten our financing is well underway of the different banks that we're going to go to. I think there's a list of 6 banks that our financial consultant, Choice Advisor, Paula Permenter, has researched for us. And so I'm looking at those and making sure we have the best interest rates and the best deal. Interest rates are going up. So the plan is to finance this for 3 years. And then in 3 years, we're eligible to create a new bond. And that new bond would encompass the whole $18 million that we currently have an $18 million worth of bonds. And this will be another 4 million probably. And so we'll be able to put all of those bonds into one with a lower interest rate and new terms. Yep. The other share was the financial report. So let me just go through that really quick the best I can, because there's only 2 pages that I really care too much. I care about the whole thing, but the dashboard's where I try to go to most and first. So based upon, let's see, so this year, the areas, debt service coverage ratio is an important one. We need to be above 1.1, and we're at 1.39 projected for this year. And our days cash on hand, we need to have at least 35, but we're at 262 days cash on hand for the end of this year. And we went down on those days cash on hand just because the executive team made the decision that says it doesn't make sense to have that much days on cash on hand and not pay our teachers better and not provide some of these other things that we should provide. So let me go to the dashboard. Right here. So 1.39 down from 2.29. So Joel's message to us was everything is just exactly on track of what we talked about all year, and moving well. Any questions on that?
Joel was not able to join us.
No, he wasn't able to.
That's unfortunate. Not to see him in a year then. So, okay then. Any questions on finances before we move on?
Just one administrative question. Is that part of the agenda every month is a financial review?
Yes, and typically Joel Bryce is in and he'll do the financial review and talk about the trends and things like that. He's really good. He's very open for lots of questions, and so when he's available, by all means, ask him lots, and he'll slow down. That's one thing. Very first few meetings, I'm like, okay, Joel, I see numbers and abbreviations. We're gonna have to slow it down a little bit, and so things like days cash on hand and all the ratios and things like that. Yeah, it takes a little bit, but Joel's very helpful, and so by all means, ask him lots of questions when you see him next.
And the next meeting is our proposed budget for the Arizona Department of Education. It's a really important one. When you get that, look through it carefully. I know that Aaron and Ben have caught some little things that I didn't see, and so yeah, it's important to look at that one. We'll do the proposed budget in the end of June, and then the approved budget, the same thing, within the first 10 days of July or something. There's a very tight timeline on that one that we're required to do. Yeah.
Any other questions about the financial report? Okay, then. On to item 4 of the agenda is board member resignation. Mrs. Joronda Montano apparently has resigned from the board. Did you receive a message from her, Brian?
I spoke with her.
Okay.
And her family obligations and her coaching and her new business that she does. She regretfully said, look, I just can't do both, but she would like to be continued involved in some of the other community service projects we do and the learning projects we will do with the community.
Yeah, she's an amazing community servant. So like if any way we can keep in contact with her would be wonderful, because she's great. So okay. And now we have go ahead.
You can also talk about yours now, and I can put it on the agenda because that's the topic. So.
Yeah, if that is the topic of board member resignations, I am resigning at least for a year, since I'm traveling to Norway on a Fullbright scholarship, and so a Fullbright award, and so I'll be going there to Bergen, Norway, on the west coast of Norway, and so I'll be there with the kids, and Christy's coming along too. It's going to be crazy. I can speak that much Norwegian, and so that's going to be interesting. And if anyone would like to rent a house, let me know.
It's a fellowship. Remind me again.
It's an award, and so it's like as a Fulbright scholar, as a Fulbright, so the Fulbright award. So pretty exciting. I applied 2 years ago and did not get it, and this time we got through, and so it's insane. Like, we're in the thick of all the bureaucratic, crazy immigration stuff right now, and it's no need for details here.
Well, I want to take a second just to tell Aaron personally how much I just love you, Aaron. You've been with us forever, and your counsel and your guidance through the years. You're the chair of the board for a year. You've been on the board forever, and your involvement in the involvement with ASU and Paideia and all your research, breaking a kid's arm. I mean, it's all been so. It's all been
never gonna go away, is it?
Yeah, your membership on the board has been one level. Your counsel to me on many occasions has been another level, and I just appreciate you very much being with us.
Thanks, Brian. I appreciate it, and I will miss this. This is always kind of fun to be involved and talk through all these crazy things, and it's good. And the board has been a fun place to both be involved, both in terms of the community, but also for my children. It's a lot of fun. And so I'll be back in a year. You never know. If you want me back on the board, we can talk. So
be excited to hear your stories.
Yeah, I'm excited too. Very nervous, very anxious, but very excited. So should be good.
A little bit of a Norwegian accent, some Norse.
Hopefully the Norse, that bookmal. I'm learning. We're trying to figure it out. It's it's tough. So
It's all about Duolingo.
Yeah, we're doing the Duolingo a lot. What was that, Stephanie?
I was just saying congratulations as a fellow academic. I know that's a big award. So
yeah, it's thank
take
you.
your family with you is awesome.
Yeah, the taking the family thing is fun. It's also scary. Like right before this meeting, both Christy and I were downstairs doing Duolingo and like trying to figure the whole thing out. And then earlier today, it's trying to figure out all the immigration stuff. I paid for my residence permit, and we have to go to San Francisco to turn the paperwork. It's bonkers. Like, there's all kinds of stuff, but but it's hopefully will be worth it. That we'll come back with those stories, and so that's
It will
that's
be.
great.
Nice.
Yeah, we just got to get there. Just got to make it happen. So
Very cool.
yeah, thank you. Looking forward to it. All right, we have on item 5. I don't know what the background of this is, but there is the discussion of potential vote and into an executive session. And it would appear that the executive session call on the agenda is for item A1, which I believe is that contract or personnel? I'm pulling up the document right now.
Yeah, personnel.
Personnel,
So
yeah.
On my contract, the executive director's contract, paragraph 4, I think it is on salary, and it says there's a line in there that says every year y'all have to talk about it and to see what kind of increase, if any, that our budget would handle and my performance has warranted. So y'all will have to leave because you have to go into the executive session.
Okay, so
That is room.
right, or make me host, and I can just kick. Yeah, make me co-host, and then I can kick you out and text you to come back in when the time comes, and maybe I'll invite you back in.
So we have to vote to go into
Yes,
executive session, right?
correct.
The
So
other issue is you're being recorded, so the executive session should not be recorded live.
correct, because that should be a private session. And so we will. So first, we need to vote. So I need a motion to go into executive session first and a second, and then. And the motion would read as the agenda item does, pursuant to A.R.S. 38431.03 subsection A1, because that's the specific section that pertains to
Okay.
personnel matters. And so I would need a motion that reads in that way, Melissa, and then
I'll make a motion to move into executive session pursuant to A.R.S. 38-431.03 A1.
do I have seconds?
Zuri Baker, I second.
Thank you, Zuri.
Okay.
Okay.
Let us
Do a roll call vote, please.
Okay, Dr. Windsor,
Yes.
I say yes. Mrs. Mendoza,
Yes.
Ms. Garrison,
Yes.
Dr. Hess,
Yes.
Dr. Lechuga,
Yes.
and Ms. Baker.
Yes.
Okay.
Okay, so
Motion
we
passes.
move into executive session. That means I need control as co-host. I don't know, did I get that? I think
You
I
did,
did.
and I just made a room called executive session room. So
Will that
Okay.
room, once we go into executive session room, that's still being recorded?
No.
I
don't
will
think
watch
so.
seats. I'll be out here.
Yeah, I don't think so because it should, if Brian stays in here, it'll record here and not there. And
So I need to take notes, right? So we have a separate
yes, a separate set of minutes for that.
minutes for the executive session.
Yes.
Okay.
Okay, I'm
So you already
sending-
created the room?
I did. Oh, actually, there's a room called executive room. Can you see it when you pull it up?
Where would we find that?
I think he would, Aaron would just assign you and you'd be pulled into it.
Oh, okay.
And while you're away, I'll sing.
Okay. I believe that 1, 2, 3, 4, 5.
So joining room 1, is that right?
Yeah, go ahead and join room 1. I gotta make sure I can join room 1. There we go.
All right, they are in executive session to discuss some personnel matters concerning the executive director, which is me. And they will come out of the executive session. I'm going to mute and I'm going to stop the video, then I'm going to mute and I'll bring us back on when they're back.
And Brian's gone. Oh, there he is.
Just ducking down low. Did you get my email by any chance?
Yes, yes.
Good.
Yeah, we're good. Okay, so we voted to come out of executive session, and the sort of outcome here is we're going to table the discussion until the next board meeting, where we want to have an agenda item that would include another executive session where we might have additional information, as well as we want a couple different things. If we get some additional information about the contract itself to be given to board members, as well as Joel present to talk about any budgetary issues. And then also if we can, I'm going to be directing Ophelia to do this for the performance. Is that what we decided? Or we're just, I guess we don't really decide anything, but like, if we can get information about any performance, the part of the language of the contract has that performance that we're to evaluate based on performance. And if there's been any documentation in the past about how that has been done, would be helpful for the board to have a discussion.
Yeah, I started to fill out the executive director's performance thing the other day, and it felt weird.
Yeah.
So it's like there is a rubric that the other executives or the board would fill out. We've never done it before.
Okay, that might be something that would be included for the board to consider as a part of that discussion. And so if other executive members, members of the executive team could fill that out, that would be helpful. Okay, going back to our agenda for the day, we have okay, so there's a discussion review.
Action, though, I think you have to vote on that action to table it. Because you have to do the possible action.
I don't think you need a motion to set the agenda, Dr. Windsor. We're really just setting the agenda for the next meeting. But if you want one, but I don't think.
No, it's like this item. So was there a?
We're deferring our action, I suppose, till the next meeting.
Okay, I just want to make sure we fully did the agenda item. So we did the executive session, we reconvened, and a possible action doesn't necessarily have to say you have to vote on something. Okay,
Right.
oh, that's what I'm saying.
Yeah, I think we're in good shape. All right, then moving on to item 6 on the agenda, we have discussion review without a vote on the parent scholar guidebook policies. And there's a 30-day review process for this. Brian, any details about that in terms of what we need to be doing?
The main thing is I cannot even comprehend spending a whole board meeting going through this page by page. So I put a link on there. So I would like for you on your time to just go through. There's some sections to definitely look at, like dress code, attendance, grading. I mean, just look through there with the eyes of a parent and your fiduciary responsibility for policies. Yeah.
And is it safe to say it's the same minus the sections where we see the commenting in yellow highlights, or are there more changes to it than the previous year besides those items?
No, what you have is this current year's with a bunch of edits and changes as we go. It's a live document being edited and changed by the leadership staff, making sure that like reimbursement rates are correct, that the transportation's correct. I think Ms. Perez is editing the dress code part on the PLA. So yeah, I just want for the next 30 days, keep abreast. If you want to add an edit in there and just make a suggestion, wait, let me think. No, I don't think you can, because that would be open meeting law violation. I think you just need to look and make your own notes, so that when we get back together in June, right?
It would be part of the discussion.
Yeah, you can't make a discussion yet, otherwise that violates it.
So it's still being live edited now.
Yes.
Okay. And then there'll be no more edits by the time we have the next meeting.
I hope to heaven there's no more edits by the end of next week.
I was just saying, when should we look, right? I looked at it, but I was just looking more, and that's.
I would definitely say June, like the 1st of June, you can really
Right.
start looking, it should be pretty finalized by then.
And just to be clear, those live edits are not happening by us as a board.
No, right, exactly. That's by the principals and the executive team and some of the corporate staff.
Okay. Questions about this process? I can see some of the major changes that have little comments and things. Is that where we can direct most of our attention, or is it going to be in terms of the differences? Will all the edits be marked? I guess that's my question.
Yeah, the
Right,
track
we have
changes
track
are-
changes on, yes.
Okay, should be. Okay, good.
And then you think about your fiduciary responsibility is more on like attendance, because that's a funding issue. FERPA, special ed child find, and maybe a part of high interest to you might be how is the dress code addressed next, what do we want to do with that? I know there's going to be suggestions from both campuses. Because dress code right now is just a shirt. Because I see I could not fight that battle too. So it's like, nah, okay, let's just get back in school. And I didn't want to harp on that too much.
It's been a weird year, couple of years. Other questions, comments about this process? Okay, item 7 on the agenda is a call to the public. Do we have any messages from folks?
There were none.
No calls from the public and no one on the horn for us. So I believe that gets us to the last item, which is adjournment. Do I have a motion to adjourn?
I'll move to adjourn.
Okay, Victoria, do I have a second?
No, second.
All right, this is a voice vote. Melissa, when you're ready.
Okay, all those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Say aye. Any opposed to Aaron's last meeting
For now.
being over? I might oppose it. Any abstentions?
If I abstain, does the meeting never end for me? Is it just go on for forever?
Forever.
You'll be missed.
Okay,
Aaron.
Yes, you will.
you will be.
Thank you. Well, it has been a pleasure. And like I said, I'll be back in a year and change, and we can revisit this conversation. So it'll be good.
Now, just for heads up, our next meeting is an important one because we have some policy and procedures and things we need to make sure we do, including what's called the proposed budget to the Department of Education. So that should come out, I hope with more time, I hope with some time for you to look at. But Joel, like as Aaron said, Joel is very patient just to go line by line. We just go through it together. So there's a timeline on that. And so the 27th, that week of the 27th of June is probably the best week to make the timeline for July. And I'm on vacation, and I'm sure several are on vacation. So what does our calendars look like?
I'm out of town. I'm at a conference
That week?
that week,
Okay.
that whole week. I'm in Chicago.
Something real quick. Let me look at my timeline again.
But don't hang it on me. Someone else can take notes.
I'm gonna look at my timeline again real quick. Yeah, we could, yeah, we can't wait till the July 4th, though. That's pushed it way too close. 'Cause everything has to be done by July 10th, I think. Or just that first week of July.
So
We can
one
do-
meeting is the presentation and then one meeting is the vote to approve, and you have to approve by July 10th.
Well, yes, exactly. So we have one meeting to have the proposed budget approved, and then it has to be available for public review for 10 days, I believe it's 10 days. And then we can't go further into July than, I can't remember the exact date, I was looking for it, but it's usually a squeeze for us to get it done.
What about the 6th and the 21st?
I wouldn't be able to do the 6th.
Me either.
Me either. I won't be here.
21st?
This might be a Joel question because I have a suspicion that it has to be turned in before that.
Yeah, I'm looking down through my notes to make sure I got the exactly.
I don't email.
Okay. The proposed budget must be board approved by the 5th. Okay, July 5th. That's why we was running into the problem. So it has to be approved by July 5th and adopted by the 15th. And there has to be a 10-day available for the public to look at it.
So you back up 10 days from the 5th? Is that what you're saying?
I backed up 10 days from the 15th is our absolute, it's got to be uploaded to the state by the 15th. And the problem we've run into is that nobody's available on the 5th of July, or that week. He says he'll have the budget files and ready for us to review on June 15th. And one of the problems we also run into is the state doesn't give us the funding formula. They still haven't given us the funding formula for next year. So it's impossible to create a proposed budget without knowing what the money's going to be. And we just need a quorum,
Someone say the 21st?
Yeah,
I believe the 21st, I'm out until the 24th.
Does it have to be a Monday?
No, and it doesn't have to be at night either. Actually, I think I could do the 20th if somebody wants to. I'll just be in, by then I think we'll be in Georgia. So there's internet there too.
it's my day off. I don't want to be in front of my computer.
Mondays is?
I get Juneteenth off,
Oh, that's right.
which is very progressive of my
Everybody
company.
does, actually. That's a law.
The federal holiday.
Thank you, Melissa. Keep us on that.
Mhm.
So the days I probably could not is because we're flying on the 22nd, so that wouldn't work. The 24th I could.
Then the week of the 6th, people aren't around that whole week.
Well, the week of July 6th or June 6th.
June.
That's too soon because we don't have the funding formula.
Um,
We don't create the budget yet.
So we're looking at the 23rd is a possibility. Is that?
The
What?
23rd. Yes, I think we'll just be getting home, but it's possible.
24th.
Y'all don't do the weekends, right? I mean, I do all kinds of stuff on the weekends, but I think you're trying to stick Monday to Friday, right?
Oh,
I can jump on at any time
Anytime.
other than the beginning of, other than that week in June. Otherwise I can jump on. So 13th, the week of the 13th, the week of the 20th. I mean, it's the week of the 27th. Is Melissa the only one who can't do that one?
And Aaron.
Oh, yeah.
But me not being on the board makes quorum easier, kind of. Like it.
Oh, that's
Less
true.
people.
Both ratio.
Yeah, why don't you do it the week of the 27th? I'll read them. I'll read the minutes.
Okay, any day of the 27th, that's a Monday, that's our pattern, but is there a different day that would be better or a different time of day?
Fine for me.
That works for me.
Works for me.
27th, 5 o'clock?
That works.
June 27th, 5 o'clock. I'll advertise that as our proposed budget meeting. And we'll also look at the handbooks. I'd like to get that all done because we have to print it and give it to parents. Okay. Thank you, everyone.
All right.
Okay.